Good morning, Radnor Juniors. You are hearing the voice of Mrs. Goff, one of the college and career counselors here at Radnor. I thank you in advance for your attention during this informative presentation. I hope to be done in less than 17 minutes. Today, I'm going to highlight a few things that are important to you now that you are juniors. We'll review the role of your counselors, talk about a general junior year timeline, college and career exploration information and research tools, fit research tools, and also share the lengthy list of upcoming programs, events, and opportunities available to you throughout the year. As a reminder, every junior has two assigned counselors, a school counselor and a college and career counselor. Your school counselor is responsible for more day-to-day needs, things like socio-emotional wellness and support, if you're struggling academically, questions about your schedule, course selection, for your planning, and more general, anything that comes up throughout the day. Whereas your college and career counselor really specializes in supporting students in their post-secondary goals through programming, individual meetings and planning, and direct application assistance. On the right of the screen, you can see the alphabetical breakdown with our counselor assignments based on your last name. And it's also very important to note that Mrs. Duncan and Ms. Johnson are the administrative assistants in our offices, and they are very helpful and valuable to us as an office as well as to our students. They are happy to help you with anything you may need, so come on down to our office. Now we're going to talk about a junior year timeline, specifically now the fall of junior year and winter. First, continue to think about your post-secondary options and interests. Sure, about 88% of Radnor students go on to college, but that means 12% do something else. In today's world, we know that there is value in a college education, but there can be just as much value and fulfillment in other paths, such as serving in the military, specializing in a trade, seeking an apprenticeship, or entering the world of work. These are all viable options for your future, so be sure to consider all possibilities. Regardless of your plans for the future, you may want to consider taking the upcoming PSAT, which is being held in October. Many students will go on to take an SAT or an ACT, and the PSAT offers you good exposure, and many of you have done this already in the past. Junior year is also a good time to reflect on how you spend your time outside of school. Are you spending your time well? Are you deepening your involvements or seeking leadership roles? It's a good time to reflect on what you are doing beyond the school day and make changes if needed. Also remember to take advantage of opportunities such as college visits and evening programs, lunch and learn workshops, and many of the other opportunities that I will reference later. Most importantly, it is time to recognize that you are more than halfway through your high school career. Make the most of your experience and opportunities. Work hard to find success that you can be proud of. As we look ahead to the winter months, starting in December, we will open for post-secondary planning meetings with the college and career counselors. Once we sort of have our seniors more underway with their process, then we shift gears and focus starting in December on our juniors. By that time, you will also have your PSAT results back, so you can use that data to help prepare for winter or spring SATs or ACTs if you plan to take them. Additionally, most of you will need teacher recommendations in the future. From junior year is the preferred year, so you might want to start thinking about which teachers and classes are you building positive connections in. It's also a great time to jump into using SCORE and other research tools to identify potential college or career pathways. As a reminder, SCORE is the college and career platform that you were introduced to last year, and we will talk more about that in a bit. I know you are often told to start thinking about or explore your post-secondary options, but how do you actually do that? First, and most importantly, turn inward. Ask yourself, what are my values? Or in other words, what's important to me? Some people value things like helping others, while some value autonomy. Others value achievement and recognition, and others value money. There are no right or wrong values, but understanding what you hold important can be really helpful in making connections for your future. Also, it's very important to ask, what are my strengths? In other words, what am I good at? Also, what motivates me? Do I enjoy the things that I am doing? What do I find fulfilling? These are all questions that you can answer to help put you on a path to a meaningful and fulfilling future. In terms of practical resources, you should all be familiar with Smart Futures. This is a tool you've used the last few years for the state required career readiness artifacts. Now is a great time to revisit Smart Futures and possibly retake some of the previous assessments you've done to get a current view of how you see the world of work and yourself in it. There are also 2 assessments in SCORE that may be useful. The Career Interest Assessment is a brief assessment that only takes a few minutes and can be done multiple times. There's also Principles U, which is a lengthier and more detailed assessment, but can only be completed once. So make sure you take that assessment when it's the right time. Additionally, there are many, many outside resources that provide incredibly helpful information on factors such as current job market and trends, hot career fields, career gaps, earning potential, and more. You can check out the live links when I post this presentation on Schoology and explore this information on sites like PA Career Zone, Career One Stop, and Road Trip Nation, which may expose you to opportunities you never even thought about. For those of you set on going to college, we want you to be thinking about fit. What do we mean when we say fit? The main components are fit are academic and learning, social and cultural, geographic, and financial. So in terms of academics, let's say you know what you want to study. It would make sense then that you'd want to look at institutions that have that particular area of study, right? But just as important, if you aren't sure what you want to study, or you might be someone who changes their mind along the way, it's important to know what resources and opportunities are available to help you either pivot or figure out what you want to do as you go through your college journey. Also think about how you learn and the learning environment on campus. If you need a smaller environment, maybe going to a large state school with 300 kids in your freshman year classes, that may not give you the learning experience and connections that you need to thrive. So those are all really important considerations when you think about academics and learning as it relates to fit. When we discuss social and cultural fit, that's more about how do I feel on campus? Are these my people? Do we have common values and interests? For example, if you are not at all into sports, but the number one social outlet on a particular campus is attending football and basketball games, you may want to question if that environment is a good fit for you. Geographic. This one is pretty straightforward, but something that is often overlooked or romanticized. Listen, I was a teenager once too, and I dreamed of going far, far away from home. But when I really thought about it, and I thought about the tightness of my family and my extended family, I realized I wanted to be able to come home for holidays, birthdays, and as many large family events as I could. That informed my decision to only venture 3 hours from home and not be a plane ride away. But also, growing up in the country, I knew I wanted a city experience. And this is how I made my way to Philly. It was close enough to be home, to give me the opportunities with my family that were important, but also gave me a new experience in terms of my environment. My experience is not yours, but these are the kinds of things to consider and be realistic about as you're identifying possible college matches. Finally, but very importantly, is financial fit. None of the research or planning efforts will pan out if you aren't also thinking about, can I afford it? This is an important conversation to have as a family so you can establish a realistic understanding of what role cost of attendance plays in your college search and selection. Now that we've discussed some fit factors, let's dive into research. The most encouraged college research platform available to you is SCORE. You can access SCORE through Clever. You were introduced to SCORE last year, so hopefully what I'm about to say will ring some bells. While there are many college search tools out there, what makes SCORE unique and frankly superior is that SCORE has historical application and admissions data specific to Radnor High School. Using this data, SCORE can offer you a look at your admissibility to colleges of interest through what we call scattergrams, where your academic profile is plotted against past Radnor High School graduates who have applied to the same schools. Their outcomes inform your chances of acceptance, and the scattergrams display that in a very clean and easy to understand way. Beyond SCORE, there is so much out there. While I know many of you get your facts from TikTok, I urge you to use social media very minimally as a source of reliable data. We have compiled a resource guide for you with vetted resources to aid you in the college process. You can see a screen grab of the guide on the screen, and the hyperlink is live for your use once this presentation is posted. I encourage you to check it out. There's a lot of great resources on this page. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the programs we have coming up the remainder of this year. Going on now, as of last week, are our Radnor College visits. We are so lucky to have over 125 colleges that want to come meet directly with Radnor students. These visits happen Monday through Friday, different periods throughout the day. They're most often held in the faculty dining room. Juniors are encouraged to attend these visits, especially if a college that you might be interested in is coming. Oftentimes, the admissions rep that comes to these visits is the first person that's going to be reading your future application. If you would like to attend a college visit at Radnor, you can find the visit schedule on SCORE, on our Instagram page, and also on the TV scrolling outside of our office. You must register for these visits in advance on SCORE. You can find the visits on your dashboard. We also have lunch and learn workshops coming up, one in October on financial aid and one later in December on scholarships. While you may not need to be doing the work on financial aid this year, it's really good to begin to wrap your head around it because it can be a confusing process, as well as scholarships, especially for those of you that want to secure money for college. We have the PSAT coming up in a few weeks in October. We also offer the SAT 3 times on Saturdays throughout the school year. We have several college and career fairs that we host throughout the year. We have 3 this fall, October 8th and November 5th. And then on December 11th, we have a college career and trades fair. So we will have more than just colleges here. There'll be a lot of really wonderful trade industries that you can also get exposure to. We have a couple evening programs. So Finding Your College Fit evening program is in November, followed by Financial Aid evening program in December. And then, as I mentioned before, in December also, we kick off our individual junior planning meetings with you. If you're not ready in December, you schedule when you're ready. We host those meetings throughout the spring. I mentioned the PSAT. That is coming up on Wednesday, October 16th. All students are automatically registered. There is no fee. If you are a student that has accommodations, either through a 504, an IEP, or as an ELL student, make sure your accommodations are in place. You can talk to your school counselor about that or your case manager. On September 30th, please make sure you have your device here at school. We'll be doing a digital readiness check to make sure your Blue Book apps are up to date so we don't run into any tech glitches on the day of testing. For those of you that are interested in doing some prep work prior to the PSAT, certainly not required, but if you're a strong test taker and want to try to qualify for National Merit Scholarship, which is based on your junior year PSAT, we suggest that you take a look at Khan Academy or the full practice tests that are available to you in Blue Book app. Okay, back to this year's lineup of events. Also in December, we have a college freshman panel where our recent Radnor graduates come back and speak to students about their transition from high school to college. It's a really informative, interesting opportunity to hear about different people's transition experiences. We have a testing evening program with Compass Education Group in January, an admissions case study program in February where our audience members get to be part of a mock admissions panel and decide who they're going to admit, who they're going to waitlist, and who they will deny. We have special topics and college admissions workshops that we're planning for the spring. So if you're a performing or visual artist, if you are an athlete, if you are a student with learning differences, if you're an international student, you may have special considerations in the admissions process. So we'll be holding information sessions specific to you and your needs. We have a college admissions panel in April where we'll have a variety of college reps here to talk about the admissions process and overview admissions landscape from their lens. And we also have additional fairs coming up in the spring. One is a volunteer fair in March, and then a civil service fair in April. So you can learn more about those opportunities. There is so much more that I did not share, but this gives you a really good overview. The gist and the thing I want you to take away is that there's a lot of opportunities. We want you to be both introspective and thoughtful, and take advantage of the resources that are here for you at Radnor. How do you stay in the know on what's available? So the two biggest ways are in Schoology. You're all familiar with that platform. We have a counseling department class of 2027 Schoology group. Everyone is in that group. Please check the messages posted there. It is often opportunities, updates, events, things that'll be useful to you as a junior. We also have an Instagram page that our counseling department is spending a good deal of time keeping up to date. Our handle's at Radnor RHS Counselors. So if you aren't following us, please do follow us. Lots of good information there as well. Well, that's a wrap. I said under 17 minutes, and I'm at 16 minutes and 15 seconds on the nose here. So I'm going to sign off now. I thank you all for your attention. We look forward to meeting with you in December or whenever it is that you're ready. And please take advantage of the many opportunities we have for you throughout the year. Have a great week, everyone. Bye now.